G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR. Hope that you've all been well. I'll tell you what, I'm excited, I'm pumped. Christmas has come early because the 2022 Team Picker has just been launched. Quick disclaimer though, if you're not a SuperCoach Gold subscriber, you will not have access to this yet, but rest assured that in my next video, I'll take you through every player, every price, so you can either go old school, get a pen and a pad out, or else open up a Word document and maybe start to plan your side anyway. I will do that in the next video, but the plan for today's video is to make a bit of a rapid, quick-fire side. I haven't even taken a look at this yet myself. As I said, I'm just super bloody pumped. The adrenaline is rushing through the body because, you know, I'm super coach mad, as many of you that are watching this video at this stage of the year will be too. But look, let's just get straight into it. My plan is to just lock in my absolute locks on each line. Then I'll go back and select some of the other players that I'm really not sure on yet, and then fill in the rookies. Now, the rookies at this stage will just be some placeholders. There are a couple that I'm really keen on that I think I'll lock in, but there's a lot of water to go under the bridge. And even when we talk about structure, you know, that's very much dependent on where the rookies are at. So I may run with 3 in the defensive line. We may not have any rookies. I'm talking about 3 premiums. If the rookies aren't there, then maybe you need to bat a little bit deeper, go 3 in a mid price or even 4 premiums, just as an example. So look, let's just get straight into it. We'll start with my defensive locks. There's 2 of those going into this year. The first man is Jake Lloyd. I've started with this man for the last 4 to 5 years, I think, but the Seagull, he's ultra consistent. We know what he delivers each and every year. I'm just going to lock him in. Probably the safest selection, in my opinion, this year. Probably overpaid for him a little bit last year. What was it, about $650, I think. So average did decrease a little bit, but I've still got faith in the Seagull to keep delivering. Now, the next man was a forward line selection for me last year. Just banged on about him each and every week in my stock market video, and it's Aaron Hall. Now, he's getting a little bit older, but I don't think his role's going to change. Did not let me down. Rarely went under the ton. I'm just going to lock him in this year. Love Aaron Hall. Great selection, I think. Now, they're my 2 now I've just gotten rid of him. What am I doing there? So they're my 2 defensive locks going into this year. Now, we'll go into the midfield now, and I've basically got 5 blokes that I'm going to lock in straight away. And the first man that I'm going to lock in, I'll tell you what, he is my favourite player in the AFL that does not play for the Lions. I'm going to nickname him the Trademark. Initials are TM. I was just on this man last year in the stock market videos again, but slapping myself because I never brought him in. I'm going to rectify that mistake now. Mr. Took Miller. I love this bloke. I think he's the hardest working player in the competition. He just gets from contest to contest. Now, if you watch the Gold Coast Suns games, this bloke's work rate is just through the roof. You know, you watch him get to a contest, you know, kick at 50 metres, another 50, another stoppage. This man will just be there. From the defensive line to the forward line, he helps out. I just love everything that this guy brings to the table. A real leader. I think he should be their captain. But Took Miller, the Trademark for this year, I'm locking him in as my first selected midfielder. And I tell you what, I hope that he'll be a pod, because when you look at the first 4 names there, people look at Miller and probably think, nah, well, I'm going to go for some of these other blokes with maybe bigger reputations, but I'm locking in Took Miller. Love him as a selection. And I tell you what, bang, bang, bang. Am I overpaying? Yeah, maybe I am, but there was a big mistake that I made last year in my midfield, and that was, for example, starting Rory Laird there. And look, Laird was a terrific selection, but he was a terrific selection in our back line. He had that great flexibility, I know, but I'm not going to make the same mistake this year. I'm actually going to go with 5 out and out pure premiums, and there's the 5th bloke that I'm going to select here. Here's my man. Now, I did start with him last year and regretted that. I shouldn't have done it because he just did not have a pre-season, but if he's fit and firing going into the start of 2022, he is an absolute no-brainer. And you know who it is? It is my man Lachie Neale. So as I said, if he's fit and firing, he's an absolute monster. We know what this man does. So look, going back, Jack McRae, again, a big mistake. Didn't start him last year. I was spooked with the Dogs midfield setup. Didn't know what was going to happen there, but I should have just kept the faith with Jack. Again, I've started him, apart from last year, probably the last 3 or 4 years, I think, along with the Seagull. So really safe selection. Was my captain for the majority of the second half of the season and really let me down there. So Miller and McRae, definitely. This other man I just did not bring in last year, and that hurt me, and that's Jack Steele. I tell you what, this bloke would have bloody sore shoulders because he just carried that side last year. An absolute beast, contested beast, the best tackler in the AFL. I'm just going to lock him in. Pretty easy selection, I think, for us this year. And the next man is Clary. So I have, again, started with this man for the last 3 years, and he will not let you down. Now, 672,000, 685 for Steele, almost 700 for McRae, again 677 for Miller. Yeah, it's a lot of coin to shell out, but I think he'll be worth it. I think that the 5 blokes that I'm starting with here in the midfield are almost locks for top 10 averages if they're fit for the majority of the year. So I'm pretty happy with these selections. I am paying up, but with Neil, I'm getting a little bit of a bargain there. So there we go. There's my 5 midfield locks for this year. Now the rucks, oh man, I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you, I do not have a lock. So I'm just going to skip them for now because I'm still really unsure about what I'm actually going to do on the rucks. And the forward line as well. So let's have a look at the forward line. Oh, this is an easy one. This will be the easiest forward lock that you can have this year. Josh Dunkley, only 558,000 as well. We know what this man does when he plays in the midfield, and do not forget his start to the 2021 season. I think he was the highest averaging player, or else, if he wasn't, he was in the top handful. I think he was going to about 130. So he's such an easy lock, Josh Dunkley. Again, one of my favourite players in the comp. Now, there's another man here that I'm really keen on. 443,600. That's Zach Butters. Again, do not forget the start that this man had to last season. You know, before he got injured, people were just scrambling to bring him into their side. So I love the Butters selection. Where is he going to play next year? I'm not too sure, but hopefully that will be a lot more through the midfield. So love what this bloke brings to the table. Love Zach Butters. And I've just got rid of him as I say that. Done that twice now, I think. Now, who else do we go here? Duncan, yeah, good player, but injuries concern me a little bit. Taranto, I think he played a little bit too much forward. If he plays midfield, I think you probably select him, but I'm just not too sure on what his role's going to be like. Hawkins is always up there, isn't he? Stringer, yeah, that consistency worries me, but that consistency wasn't really an issue for him last year. Dusty, no way. Wingard, no way. Toby Green, NDHP policy. Charlie, no. Trelaw, so he's under 500k. Those hammies just worry me. Durability, major concern. I don't think I can start him. Timmy English, no. Still no. I'll tell you what, I haven't got any other locks here. Oh, yeah, actually. What's he? He's going to be cheap, isn't he? This man, Cogs. You've got to select him. 261,300. DPP, captain of the club. Look, if he's fit, then you've just got to select him. I think he's an absolute no-brainer. So, look, they're probably my locks. So, if you go back up to the defensive line, you've got the Seagull, Aaron Hall, Miller, McRae, Steele, Oliver Neal. The Rucks, no bloody idea. Dunkley, Butters, and Cogs. So, well, let's have a look at the Rucks. I'm just not really keen on anyone. I'm going to skip Gawn because of the Jackson factor. That really concerns me. I just see him spending less time in the ruck as the years go on when you've got someone like Jackson in the side. So I'm going to skip Gawn. Darcy is an absolute gum. What's going on with that knee? He's got a few shoulder concerns. Yeah, durability worries me with Darcy. One thing I'm absolutely spewing on, I think he's just a ruck. Big Rowan. My plan was just to have him in the forward line with that DPP status. A really easy one there. It hurts. I tell you what, that's probably my biggest spew when it comes to player positioning this year is Big Rowan not having that DPP status. So, yeah, do I go him? I'm really not too sure. Grundy's probably the other one that you might look at. But again, I said I'm not going to start him. He had a bit of a down year last year. Let me down during some crucial times, crucial rounds. Yeah, look, I'm really not too sure. Do you know what I'm actually tempted to do? Is something like this. You go your Marshall. This is crazy, isn't it? But look, it's just a. What am I doing there? it's a strategy that maybe you'd look at. You're worried about durability with Marshall. Obviously with Bruce, you're worried about durability. Max Lynch, they've got another bloke, don't they? The really tall fella. What's his name? His name escapes me, but lots of us selected him last year and he didn't get another game for a while. Graves, is it? Graves? I'm not too sure. But look, that's a setup that you could look to do. If you're looking to just go, out and out full premium, then the most logical combinations you could probably have, I think, are the Darcy, Grundy. Who's someone that's going to be cheap? Could you go Combin, maybe a Hayes? So that's, maybe a setup that you'd look to go for. I'm not too sure. How much money do we have in the bank? So let's go back up now and start to fill some of these other positions. Almost 3 mil, so I've spent a fair bit there. All right, let's go see if we can find a D3. So I like Daniel Rich, 582, but geez, you're overpaying for him. He'll be a pod. Birchall's out of the side now. We know what Rich does. He takes a lot of the kick-ins. He kicks it long, kicks it well, comes around for a goal around the back every now and then, but teams are cluing onto that a lot more. I do like Richie as a selection. Jack Crisp, I like as a selection as well. It might be, maybe out of Rich and Crisp. I'll chuck Crispy in there for now. Jordan Dawson, I also like as a selection. Will he play through the midfield? If he does, we saw what he did when he played on the wing for the Swans, really boosted that average up. I think he was the highest rated wingman, actually, when he moved there. Heppel, no. Jordan Ridley, I think he could be a decent selection. But then again, you've still got the blokes like your Redmonds and these types that may take some of those kick-ins. But then you've got Kelly that's just arrived from Adelaide who may play more of that lockdown role like Ridley was forced to do at times. He may be freed up a little bit. So maybe Jordan Ridley, 537, that's a decent price. Again, we saw what this man did at the start of last year, just dominated. So maybe a Ridley. Going through Lockie Whitfield, 502,000 DPP. Man, he's going to be hard to. I tell you what. How's this no GWS stuff? And I've already got Cogs. Talking about Bruce, maybe that's terrible, isn't it? Lockie Whitfield, I'm going to get him in. All right, so now we're just going to start to fill this. Who are some blokes? I can't even think. Do you go something like a Sin? Possibly. Oh, I tell you what. Leak Aaliyah. Is it double L? We'll just go Leak. Sorry. Big Lek Dog. I was going to go there. So Leak Aaliyah will go. How about someone like a Will Kelly? Is he available in the back line? Defensive forward. Maybe we chuck a Will Kelly back there. Collingwood, there's Charlie Dean. What's he? Mature age. Maybe he gets a run. I'm not too sure. Can't think of any other names off the top of my head. So we'll look to the midfield. So you've got to get Dacos, don't you? Do we go Horn Francis as well? Probably I'll just pop him in there for now. You got to get Greg Clark from West Coast as a rookie who I think will play. Probably Matthew Johnson. I think is a bit of a no-brainer to have there. We'll go into the forward line. Oh, where's Jared Berry actually in midfield? 268. Yeah, I reckon you've got to go Berry. I'll talk a lot more about Jared Berry. I'm actually going to do a player profile on him, but he was just ravaged with injury last year. Glandular fever in the pre-season. He's had a bit of a rough couple of years, but we need a big-bodied midfielder running through our midfield, I think. You've got Lockie Neal, Zorko, a little bit small. I think he'll start to move out. But Jared Berry, I really, really rate him as a player, but just hasn't been fit enough the last couple of years. I think he could get to around the 450 mark, even 500 if things go well. So, yeah, I like Jared Berry as a selection. And, who else do we go? I don't know. We'll find another placeholder in a minute. Now, the forward line, can we afford to go another mid-pricer? Could you go a Gresham? Maybe. I don't mind him. Then you've also got, what's Will Brodie at? 224. I don't know about him. Look, I might just chuck him. Whoop. I want to go on the forward line, don't I? I might just chuck Will Brodie in there for now. Okay, so... Oh, where's Hollands at? This guy's an absolute no-brainer. You've got to get Elijah Hollands in. Really highly rated junior. We know that he's been, again, injured for even last year as well. I think he might have come back for a few games at the end of the season. I'm not too sure. But I know that they rate him. I rate him. Yeah, I think you've got to get Elijah Hollands if he starts round 1. I think, again, he's one of those sort of no-brainer selections. Now, I do need to actually zoom out here so I can do this properly. Alright. Who else we got that's sort of rookie priced? Let's have a look. This is going to go a lot longer than the 10 minutes that I was hoping for, isn't it? Oh, Motlop, he's a small forward, being drafted by Carlton. Yeah, possibility. Butler, look, I'll chuck him as a placeholder. Do I go a loophole? Yeah, I haven't even thought about that. What's the old Comben? Charlie Comben. Look, let's just chuck him there for now. And then I just really need to find another placeholder, don't I? Someone down the bottom. Don't know if there's going to be any names that float out at me. Let's just... All carnage. Let's just see. Ollie Lord, Bailey Laurie, Will Kelly I've already got. Is there someone that can maybe... Oh, DeConning. Yep, I'll chuck him in for now, I think. So now I've got to find another midfielder. I don't think... How much... What's the salary cap looking like here? So, 256,000 with 2 more selections. Alright, let's just go Matty Roberts. And in the defensive line, it's my man Darcy Wilmot. Darcy, 139, 300, 800. So I miss out on him. That's all good. Don't know if he'll get early games or not. I know Brisbane really rate him though. They're actually going to trade up to get him. So that's how much they rated him. And we did have a pretty early pick there as well. Rankin, Cleary, don't know much about him. I know he was pretty highly rated. Academy player, Burgoyne, Banks, I don't mind. Let's just go Worrell as a placeholder. Save my team. So how are we looking? Is the team going to actually come up to a big screen? No, it's not. Alright, so... Whoop, we're going backwards. Let's have a bit of a closer look. So, we've gone with, as premiums, Lloyd Hall and Whitfield in the defensive line. Sin Aaliyah, Will Kelly, mainly just placeholders there with Worrell and Dean. In the midfield, I've gone the big 5 straight off the bat. So, Jack McRae, Steele, Miller, Oliver, and Neil. Horn Francis, Dacos as a couple of those high-priced rookies. Remember, Horn Francis, he has played against men in the SANFL and performed well. Do we start with both? I'd probably start with Dacos over him. Don't know why, because Dacos I don't think has played against those mature age bodies, but just dominated, and he's got pretty high hopes for himself, as we know, Nick Dacos. So I think that you've got to start with at least 1, possibly 2. Greg Clark, I think you've got to start with as well as a mature ager selected at West Coast. Jared Berry, I'm not saying that you have to start with him, but I really do like him as a selection, so you do chuck him on field. Johnson was a little bit of a slider. Roberts, I think, had really good numbers, SuperCoach numbers in his junior games. Now, I'm really unsure about Darcy and Grundy. Again, I could completely change this up. Maybe go with that combo such as a Lynch, Bruce, both money makers, and hopefully both will be best 22 playing every week if they're fit. Again, we don't know that. That's a big question mark there. I'm a bit dicey on Darcy and Grundy. I might even start with Rowan Marshall there. You could maybe go with a Marshall. You could go really cheap, couldn't you? That Marshall, Lynch, and then Bruce, Marshall, Lynch, Haynes. Darcy, he just dominated at the end of last year, even when he was carrying those injuries. So, yeah, the rucks will most likely change. I'm not set on that. Dunkley, I'm really set on. Butters and Cogs. So probably my F1 to 3, I'm really set on. But then again, if I go a little bit lighter in the rucks, maybe I upgrade a Brody. I don't love that selection. A Jay Gresham I like there. Wonder what's Taron. Oh, need to go in the forward line, don't I? Oh, I can't even get to it because I've zoomed right in. But Taron Thomas maybe. Don't know, maybe a Jed Anderson. But what worries me about a Jed Anderson is the fact that, well, now they've obviously traded in, what's his face? I had an absolute mental blank. Greenwood. So they've traded in Greenwood, and I know that Anderson did play a forward role when he did get back into the side after injury last year. But if he plays in the midfield, he's an absolute beast, Jed Anderson. So if he's around the 400k mark, like I think that he will be, he's another bloke that I will take a look at. But yeah, look, that is the quickfire side. Again, I've just sort of done this off the top of my head. I do have some locks. I've got some other blokes like your D3 position that's up for grabs. Do I go a little bit heavier in the defensive line? Again, I love that Rich selection, but we're probably overpaying. I do like the Crisp selection there. In the midfield, you know, there's a lot of other blokes that you could go. You could go Titch. I think he'll be a pretty decent price. Do you go Bont? I don't like starting with Bont, but again, there was stages last year where this bloke really hurt me. Sam Walsh, I really love as well. I would love to fit him in there. Look, I may, but I'm really locked in on these 5 guys at the moment. So it is what it is. Give me some feedback, guys. Let me know what you think. Be sure to drop a line with your side in the comments section. Be sure to check out all the Twitter stuff. I've been not really active on the socials. I've been focusing on some other stuff. Obviously really busy with work, but I do finish up in 2 more days. So can't wait to get through to the end of the year. And remember, I have also set up a new Facebook page. It is called, it's a group, SuperCoach with DR Community AFL, I think. So be sure to check out that. There'll be some bonus content on there, and you'll be able to actually communicate with people on more of a personal level, I think, rather than through usernames on YouTube, Twitter, Insta, and all the rest. So that's it for now, guys. Take care. Hope that you're well. As I said, look out for much more pre-season content. Spills and I will obviously get together. And what I'm looking forward to now is checking out everyone else's sides, because I haven't even taken a look at how other sides have structured up. So really keen to do that now. So take care, guys. See you in the next one. Peace and love. Catch you soon. Bye.